Hello lovely viewers, if you are new here, please hit the subscribe button and be a part of our family. The 10 best anime on Netflix right now, Part 1. Your entertainment guide, movie. Netflix has an impressive catalog of anime to complement its usual high-budget originals. This library of anime spans many unique movies and TV shows ranging from longtime classics to modern hits. To further ensure viewers will find something to suit their tastes, this mix of legacy content and contemporary originals spans every genre a fan could want. Given how much content Netflix has overall, it can feel intimidating to know where to start, let alone an anime. Thankfully, we have curated a guide that combs through some of the most compelling content the streamer has to offer. This Netflix guide is updated every month and is sure to contain something to pique the interests of established fans and newcomers alike. Trigger, one of the most well-known and beloved animation studios in the industry, returns with another fresh anime adaptation. A TV adaptation of writer Ryoko Kui's manga of the same name, Delicious in Dungeon is a creative cooking-themed fantasy hybrid. The series is set in a fantasy world where the Golden Kingdom is buried underground by a mad magician, with the kingdom's ruler promising treasure to the guild who can defeat him. One of these guild's leaders, Leos, embarks on an underground quest with his companions to save his sister, Fallon, with the team resorting to hunting and eating the monsters within for survival. Delicious in Dungeon offers a fun and comedic spin on high fantasy in dungeons. Originally released on September 15, 2023 in Japanese theaters, Netflix has added the anime film Maboroshi to its library. Co-directed by Seimei Kitakoro and produced by animation studio MAPPA, this is an anime original story set in a sci-fi fantasy world where a local town is quarantined after a steel mill explosion stops the passage of time. Middle school student Masamune and her friends struggle to cope with their collapsing reality, but they encounter a mysterious young girl at the exploded mill who can't speak and looks like a wild wolf. Maboroshi creates an exciting and inventive premise out of its sci-fi and fantasy elements while touching on relatable aspects of everyday life. A Netflix-exclusive series, Pokémon Concierge is in colorful change of pace for the blockbuster franchise in the anime department. Produced by animation studio Dwarf, this series takes place at the Pokémon Resort and follows protagonist Haru, a concierge at the vacation resort. Across its 4 episodes, Pokémon Concierge has Haru make meaningful and entertaining encounters with the Pokémon and their owners who visit. Studio Dwarf's stop-motion animation with figurine-like characters is a staple of the creative team. And it lends itself well to this vibrant fantasy world. It may be a brief miniseries even by miniseries standards, but it's a delightfully lighthearted and concise watch. A sequel series to the original adaptation of Nakaba Suzuki's manga, The 7 Deadly Sins, Four Knights of the Apocalypse is set several years after the events of its predecessor. Also adapted from Suzuki's manga source material, animation studio Telecom Animation Films' TV series shifts its focus to the young Percival as its protagonist. His life is upended in his quiet hometown when an intruder arrives, leading to a sprawling quest of adventure and revenge. Along the way, Percival meets new friends to help him along his journey and deal with the realities of the world around him. Serving as a capable sequel and new jumping-on point for newcomers, The 7 Deadly Sins, Four Knights of the Apocalypse is a satisfying high-fantasy shonen series. One of the more recent Netflix original anime series, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is an exciting take on this charming franchise. Animated by Science Saru and developed by Brian Lee O'Malley and Ben David Grabinski, this limited series takes the series in a bold new narrative direction. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off sees the titular character go missing, compelling his love interest Ramona Flowers to investigate his sudden disappearance, all while the supporting cast works on creating a fictionalized story about Scott's life. The series features the principal cast from the live-action movie Scott Pilgrim vs. the World returning to reprise their roles, including Michael Cera as the titular character, Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Ramona, Chris Evans as Lucas Lee, and Brie Larson as Natalie Adams. From its charming character designs, storytelling, and animation work, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off was acclaimed as a celebration of the franchise with an inventive new story. Former Attack on Titan and Vinland Saga animation studio Wit Studio teamed up with Netflix for the anime original story Vampire in the Garden. This series is set in a dystopic world where the remnants of humanity cling to their last safe haven city after vampires overthrow them as the world's apex species. In the middle of a battle, a human soldier named Momo encounters a vampire queen named Fine, who connects with her over their shared desire to escape from the war-torn land. Both characters then set off on a quest to find a rumored ecosystem where both humans and vampires can coexist peacefully. Wit Studio has long since made a name for itself thanks to its slick art direction and animation work, delivering some satisfying action sequences. Likewise, the military dystopia and dark fantasy elements offer a refreshing change of pace from the vampire theme's conventional gothic aesthetic. Both a Netflix original and an anime original story, Yasuki takes a dark fantasy spin on a piece of 16th-century Japanese history. Animated by MAPPA and created by LeSean Thomas, the series follows the titular African warrior who served as a samurai and retainer for the daimyo Oda Nobunaga. Set in a dark alternate reality that combines elements of magic and advanced technology, Yasuki tries to put his military past behind him after the Nobunaga's forces are defeated by the demon warlord Yami no Daimyo. That is until he's tasked with escorting a sick young girl with magical powers to a special doctor. Yasuki is a creative spin on real-world history and features a great voice performance by Lakeith Stanfield in the anime's English dub. A Netflix-distributed sequel and adaptation of the ending of Shuichi Aso's manga, The Disastrous Life of Seiki K, Reawakened concludes the comically chaotic high school exploits of its titular lead. Seiki continues to try to keep a low profile with his psychic abilities to avoid any attention and inconveniences. However, between helping cover for his dad's mishaps at work and the hijinks he gets roped into with his group of friends, Seiki might discover how these gifts can be used for good. Much like the original anime adaptation, The Disastrous Life of Seiki K, Reawakened builds on the lighthearted humor that makes it such an endearing watch. Studio's JC Staff and Egg Firm did well to stick to the script to give the anime adaptations a satisfying close and retain the fun spirit of Aso's supernatural comedy. One of the more recent Netflix original anime, Uku, The Inner Chambers, is an engaging samurai period piece. Based on the manga of the same name written and illustrated by Fumi Yoshinaga, the animation team at Studio Deen adapts an alternate history where the male population is nearly decimated during Edo period Japan, and eligible men serve as concubines for the female shogun within Uku. It's an interesting spin on the alternate history approach, telling a unique story rooted in drama and romance. Uku, The Inner Chambers examines its story through the lens of women dominating in authority in a power structure built by a patriarchal society before them. Agen, Demi-Human is an entertaining supernatural thriller with a well-executed art direction. Animation studio Polygon Pictures adapts Gamin Sakurai's manga of the same name, set in a world where mysterious and immortal human beings dubbed Agen were discovered in Africa 17 years prior and have since been deemed threats to humanity. High schooler Kei Nagai discovers he's an Agen and must flee the authorities before they can conduct disturbing experiments on him, forced to pick a side in a fight he never expected to be a part of. In an environment where CG animation is still growing, but promising, Agen, Demi-Human is a solid endeavor. The animation art style, animation, action, and world building make for a concise watch.